All right, we're here with Eric Chicatano from the Daily Item newspaper. He reached out, wanted to do a story, and for us, this is a blessing. This is a way to help broaden our horizons and get the voice of this and the news to travel. So I'm gonna let him tell you, Eric Chicatano.
So these guys are trying to raise $3,000 on GoFundMe.com. All the proceeds raised will send them directly to Puerto Rico, where they all have family. They're all fathers. They all have, if it's grandparents, parents, nieces, nephews, daughter. They're all living on the island, which has been devastated by Hurricane Maria. So we're going to put their story out, hope to help them raise some more money for their trip. They have so much passion and purpose for this, but also you can see on their faces, stress and worry. So this is something that's really personal to them, and I hope you all can support.
We got the trip coming up to Puerto Rico, November 11th. As you've seen in the video I posted yesterday, we have the We Are PR t-shirts. We're going to be selling them $20 a piece. All the proceeds are going to help fund the trip. We got all different sizes, kid sizes, all different colors. We got red, we got yellow, we got green, pink for the ladies, blue. We're gonna have V-necks also for the ladies. Janet T-Bar, because you've been bothering me about that. So we're gonna have some V-necks for the ladies. Y'all, please get a shirt, man. We going out there to help. We're gonna have to be used for whatever God can use us for. Whatever they need help out there with, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be cleaning up. We're gonna be in the streets, man. That's where we're gonna affect. We're gonna have, we're gonna get our hands dirty. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna do God's work. And we're gonna help their people, help our people, matter of fact. We are PR. That phrase we came up with to say that we stand united, that we are PR. I'm Puerto Rican, I am PR. If you're watching, it don't matter what race you are, if you're white, if you're black, it don't matter. We are PR, these are our people. We have to go help them. As human beings, we have to do the right thing. We have to go there and support and show them that people care about them, people love them, and people are thinking about them. So get out and support. We have the shirts here, all different colors. Like I said, the V-necks for the ladies. Okay, Janet? So leave me alone. Thank you and God bless.
Already know what it is. We here in the airport trying to make these flights, man. Getting ready to board the flight out of New Jersey. Thank you everybody that helped to make this possible, and God bless. Say some prayers for us, please. We get there.
Yo, what's wrong with you, man? You gotta tighten up. Look, I see her on the bed, on the pillow. What's up with you, man? Tighten up. You over there giggling and shit, man? What's up with
just landed in Puerto Rico. Thank God made it here safely. Three. Where's Solo?
He's back there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Cualquier objeto que no desea llevarse, por favor, entregarlo en este momento cuando pasemos. Gracias.
So I thank you all for watching. What you're about to see is a short documentary on relief efforts that we provided to Puerto Rico in 2017 after Hurricane Maria ravaged the island. Instantly after the hurricane hit landfall and destroyed the island, I instantly knew that I wanted to be part of the relief work. So through donations and fundraisers and money that was saved and worked for, we were able to go to the island. What you're seeing here is the first day we were there. We were at a displacement center. This is a place where people that had lost their homes, lost their families, were allowed to go and stay. It was a makeshift shelter. It was an old gym that turned into a place where people were housed. There weren't any formal beds. People had like air mattresses and mattresses on the floor and stuff. So it was extremely sad and emotional. And what you're seeing here are some of the barbers from the shop, you know, give haircuts and try to lift spirits. It was extremely emotional. You see more children than kids. And that made me wonder where their parents are, you know, and stuff that they might have gone through in the past week. Because we were there about a week after the hurricane hit. The island was still extremely ravaged. Trees were ripped apart. A lot of houses were torn apart. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. Extremely emotional. And when I got back, we spoke with other people that did disaster relief work, and they said the same thing. It's extremely emotional time. You could see as I'm cutting the kids' hair, I was fighting back tears, and I had tears in my eyes the whole day, as long as the other barbers that went with us also. It was just very emotional. The man you're seeing here do the woman's hair, he was actually living in the displacement center. Nobody knew that he was a barber there until we got there and started doing hair and cutting hair. Then he came and introduced himself and said, I'm a barber also. Of course, we let him borrow our tools, and he got right to work with us. And it was just a beautiful experience. Barbers know there's a certain brotherhood and camaraderie that we share, and it was nice, you know. And this is basically where they lived, you know. It was, I'm telling you, it was extremely sad. There was a kid that I was cutting that he shares a story of how him and his siblings were tied together and then tied to a telephone pole so they weren't swept out to sea. And I tell you, it was the most emotional experience I've ever had. Just to think of what those kids went through and what everybody went through. You know, I often made me think of my kids instantly, you know, thinking I'm so glad that they don't have to experience anything like this. You know, it was just extremely sad, and that's their reality. You know, some of the children, I believe, they don't even realize the setback that their families have. Imagine losing everything you have and everything you own in your home, your car, your business, your employment, everything. How long is it going to take you to bounce back from that, if you ever do? You know, it's something that can completely destroy somebody. And we're just here, you know, giving haircuts and trying to make everybody feel good. You know, this is the outlook. This is what kids would do in their spare time. They had a kite that they would fly, and just watching it sort of put things in perspective to me and for me, just letting me know that
You know, they're happy there, even though what they just experienced, the kids were still happy. Everybody was laughing, people were joking, and you know, you didn't see a whole lot of people sad, even though they had just been through probably the worst experience of their life. You know, but the spirits were still high. Everybody was optimistic, and it was a beautiful experience. So the kid that I'm cutting right here was extremely patient. He waited around the whole night. He helped with getting supplies and get his drinks and stuff. And he was the one that told me that his siblings were tied together. His mother was there, his father was lost, and it was extremely sad. And they had actually turned the lights on. Everything was running on generators on the island at this time. There was no running water, and there was no electricity, so everything was running on generators. And they had actually started the generator up and left the lights on for them at night. And this was the first time they did it. And then it turned out, when we came back a couple of days later, it turned out that now they began to leave the lights on for them at night. And that made me happy. You know, the kids can play for a little bit longer. The adults can hang out for a little bit longer. Imagine having the lights go out when the sun goes out. You know, I think it'd be extremely depressing and sad, especially with everything that just went on. You know, so it felt good to know that they sort of started something new, because we were there that night cutting hair. We needed the lights to cut hair.
So we got to Puerto Rico this morning about 8 o'clock in the morning. We've been up all night. We had a layover in Orlando. We've been taking flights. We just got settled into our lodging. Now we came to a shelter that was set up to provide housing for a lot of the victims that were displaced from the hurricane. And one thing I quickly realized is I got a lot of nerve to be complaining. We had a mouse in the house the other day, and I was complaining. I was pissed because we had a mouse in our house. Man, these people are living on top of each other. There's children, there's pets, you know, and I got the nerve to complain about, you know, having a mouse. I need to learn to stop taking stuff for granted and to appreciate what I have. Because no matter how hard I think I got it, somebody always got it 10 times worse, man. And this just opened my eyes and helped me realize that.
Oh, sorry.
We're here at a distribution center where people line up to get their daily food rations. No matter how big the household is, they get 2 bottles of water. They're a little bigger than the normal size, and they get a small meal. It's crazy. There's people that have 6, 7 kids, but that's all they get. So they have to split that up and divide that amongst each other. For me, it's a little hard telling people, all right, you can't have this. You can't have all that. Your kids, somebody's going to have to go without a little bit, you know. But that's sort of what we have to do to make sure that there's enough food to last everybody. It's draining, man. It's emotionally draining. It's sad. It's depressing. But you know what? Everybody here, the people that are coming to get help, nobody's complaining. They're waiting in long lines. It's hot. There's bugs. They're grateful to get whatever help they could get.
So what you're seeing right here is it's a stadium, a sports stadium that was used to distribute food and their daily rations. The second day we came here to work, as you can see, the Army was there guarding the facility, and we provided haircuts to the workers and to the Army officials, and basically to anybody in general. And we also passed out rations of food for the day. You see us right here giving haircuts. First people to get their haircuts were the employees and the Army that was guarding the place. witnessing now is one of the barbers that went with us. His mother, his grandparents, his whole family basically was in Puerto Rico still. So he showed up and surprised them. You're gonna see he picks up his grandfather who raised him, and his mother is hugging him and his grandmother, and it was beautiful to see that. To see that they were safe, and it's always nice seeing family that you haven't seen in a while. So now this is the third day there. We went to a township and started doing work in one of the smaller towns that was heavily hit by the hurricane. And we were in the neighborhood, and I liked that. We were interacting with the people. The lady you see on the left with the white shirt, the dark-skinned lady that just handed the bag, she was the alcalde, which is like the mayor of the town. And I was a little hesitant at first because I know of all the corruption there, but I seen the way that the community embraced her, so I instantly knew she was one of the good people. And what we did was hand out food. We went house to house and handed out a bag of food. And it had staples in there, rice, beans, coffee, things like that to hold you over for a couple days, which was a lot better than the displacement center the ration center that you seen previous. Was they would get a large bottle of water, some Pringles, some crackers, like some peanut butter crackers, and a couple other little pieces of food, and that's all they got for the day. And it didn't matter if you had 7 people in your family, you only got rationed for 5. 5 was the maximum that you could give. And that was extremely sad for me. I was the one that was handing out the bags. So at first I wanted to give to everybody, and then they told me, they said you can't do that because they only bring out a pallet for the day. So once that pallet is gone, if you didn't eat, you didn't eat. So what we're doing right now is setting up a game plan to go pass out the goods. I remember telling them that I wanted to walk. I didn't want to drive in the car. I wanted to walk and be amongst the people. And that's what we did. We're walking here, getting ready to go door to door. You can see the destruction to the left and the right of you. There was no running water. Everything was running on generators. And we went house to house, and you could see the Jeep on the left that the door just opened. That was my cousin's car, and they would carry the goods in there, and we would go door to door. You see me here delivering the bag of food to the gentleman, and you can see his house is ripped apart, and it was sad. It was rough seeing that, just to realize how fortunate we are. And seeing it on TV was one thing, but actually being there in the environment was completely different. The air stunk bad. There was no running water, so you weren't flushing your toilet. Everybody, you can see outside of the houses, they have 55-gallon drums, and that's what they, went to the bathroom, and that's where they put their waste. This guy, the house you're about to see, I actually went in the house, and he had a huge collection of matchboxes, thousands of them. And they were absolutely destroyed because you could see his roof caved in. And I'm up there, and then here's a young man that drove past on his horse. And one of the barbers would always tell us that he could ride a horse, and we never believed him. And he proved this wrong. You could see I'm gonna be passed. I'm up inside the house talking to the man. There I am on the roof. Luis is gonna pass me a bag, and I pass it back to the man whose house it was. That was his ration of food. And here's Luis. He's about to kidnap the kid's horse and go off. And he used to always tell us that he knew how to ride a horse, and we all laughed at him and didn't believe him because anybody knows Luis knows he's the type of guy that has a story for everything, But proved us wrong. This time he wasn't lying. And another thing we learned on that trip was I learned a lot about myself and other people, and more importantly, I learned about the group of people that went with us. There was people that went missing along the trip, and it was sad. We were there to help, and people, you know, some of the barbers, and they were barbers that I took down there, you know, some of the barbers disappeared, and it was sad. So it let you know whose heart was in the right place and whose heart wasn't. You know, we learned a lot about each other on that trip, and I'm grateful. Wouldn't take it back for the world. Josue in the left-hand corner with the light blue shirt, 15 years old at the time. Him and Solo were present. Listen, they were there every single day in and day out to work and provide comfort and relief to those people. So huge shout out to Solo and Josue, as well as my wife and my sister and my cousin Arlene. That went, you know, it was a beautiful trip, and like I said, we learned a lot about ourselves and about other people, and it was a good trip. So the gentleman you see right here with the blue shirt on, he had a boat during the hurricane and when the floodwaters came, and he was just explaining to us how his job, being that he had a boat in his town, was to go and pick people up out of the water. There was people that were swept out of their homes, swept off the streets because of the floodwater, and his job was to help get them out of the water and get them back to safety. He said that he did it almost for a straight 24-hour period, that he was able to pull 25, 30 people out of the water. And his humility and bravery and poise during that situation is something special. And I admired him. He was awesome. This is just another look and a couple stills from the distribution center where we passed out goods. You see us here getting haircuts, and then you'll also see people lined up for their food, for their rations for the day. This is where they got their food, and like I said, it was a extremely humbling experience and sad at the same time. You know, it put a lot of things in perspective. You'll hear me say that over and over throughout this video, but that's exactly what it did, put things in perspective. And this is a picture we took with the guards and our group.
Teamwork make the dream work. When we start relying on other people, and not just anybody, man, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. You got to surround yourself that are positive, that are strong, that are thinkers, that are leaders on their own. If not, man, it's not going to work out, at least not for myself. When I surrounded myself with some strong kings and queens, I realized that everything got a lot more simpler on me. When I wanted to make a bad decision, I didn't have somebody in my ear telling me, yeah, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. No, my team checks me. They tell me that's not a good idea, that's not what you have to do. At home, we have a team. Me and my wife, we a team. The children, they're another part of the team. At the shop, everybody has their position. Everybody plays their position, does their teamwork, and we do it. Some days I'm the leader, some days I'm not, man. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with taking a back seat if it means the betterment for all of us as a whole. Thank you.
Good? Good, man. All right.